Hi everyone! Today we're making the Arabian garlic sauce called Toum. Toum is absolutely delicious in your shawarmas with fried chicken as a dip. I absolutely love this garlicky sauce and we're going to take a look at how to make it at home. Now Toum is called garlic sauce by many people and some people also refer to it as a garlic paste for some reason, but it's not to be confused with the raw garlic paste used for cooking. Toum is an emulsified garlic sauce much like mayonnaise. So here we're going to take a look at how to make this delicious garlic sauce at home. So for this we need 6 cloves of garlic. I'm using larger cloves of garlic here. We're going to crush this using a pestle and mortar. To this we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and crush it further. So it's pounded almost to a paste and we can set that aside. And for this Toum recipe, we're also using the egg white of 1 large egg. For any recipe that calls for raw eggs like this, it's always best to use pasteurized eggs. So I'm going to separate the egg. And for this recipe, we will only be using the egg white. We also need 1 to 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And we're also using a cup, 240 ml of sunflower oil. So we're going to add all the crushed garlic to the blender and make sure the blender jar is absolutely dry before you start to make your garlic sauce. We're using a blender with a lid like this that has a hole on top so that you can drizzle in the oil. And using a powerful blender is necessary to make a good emulsified sauce. So we're going to start our machine on high and we're going to start to drizzle in some oil. Now when you're drizzling in the oil, always pour very slowly in a steady, thin, thread-like stream. The stream of oil has to be extremely thin and you have to pour slowly. Now once the garlic is mixed up a little, you want to remove the lid and use a spatula to scrape down the garlic back to the bottom of the jar, and we can continue. And while we're making the sauce, there's a tendency for the oil to splatter outside of the jar, so we're going to use this funnel to prevent that. And now we're going to continue to drizzle in our oil in as thin a stream as possible. Again, this is very important. Pour as steadily and slowly as possible. Now once the garlic is completely submerged in oil, we can add the egg white at this stage. And we're continuing to blend. Now almost immediately you can see the sauce turning white and foamy. So you're going to let that run briefly and then we can continue with that thin, slow, steady, thread-like stream of oil. And using one of these bottles for pouring the oil is very helpful because you need to get the oil as thin as possible. So as we keep going, you will notice that the sound of the blender will change as the sauce gets thicker and thicker. Now when you're almost halfway through, you want to open the jar and check out the consistency. And before that, we're going to add a teaspoon of lemon juice. This helps in the emulsification process and also adds flavor. Now we're going to open up and check how it's going. I still have some oil left in my bottle. Now as you can see, the sauce has thickened, but there's a layer of oil around it and it's not quite thick enough. It's a little bit runny. So we're going to continue running our machine, but we can do a taste test and add salt if needed, as well as a little bit more lime juice. And we're going to drizzle in the remaining oil on high speed, just as before. And also as a trick, I often add a tablespoon of really ice cold water, and this tends to firm it up really quickly in the end. I only do this towards the end once the sauce is already thickened. And now you can see our garlic sauce is ready. It's a perfect texture. It doesn't look greasy. It looks just like mayonnaise. And the taste is really good. But at this point, it will have a stronger pungency of the garlic. So what you want to do is you want to store it in a jar in the fridge overnight. The next day, the garlic sauce will be milder and perfect to add to your shawarmas or with your fried chicken. So I hope you tried this method. It's easier to make a smaller amount with this method. You can also use your food processor to make garlic sauce, but usually if you're using your food processor, you need a larger amount of garlic to make it work properly. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bye!